What is up, guys? Josh here at PRL, back with another one. Today we are doing a voiceover of the Michelin Pilot, starting P2. So here we are coming down the line. As you can see, that BMW just did not care about the pace of the leader. A lot of them did not care about the pace of the leader, but that's all right. We are in the dark green Aston Martin right there. As you come through turn one, dropped too many positions. You can see we got a wreck back there. Take themselves out nice and quick. And this is basically just like a GT4 race because there were no touring cars in my split, but that's alright. Still had amazing time. So here we are running P7, I believe. P8, it's my bad. And I had a very conservative strategy for the first part of this race. And then, as you'll see later on, I actually made it into contention. You guys gotta let me know if you like the voiceover. It provides for a little bit better content. I don't mind doing the extra work, not at all. Gave him a little tap. Got someone wrecking up there, wrecking back there. And it's interesting, I say Sebring, I'd probably pick the BMW. It's my first actual official race with the Aston Martin, so I decided to run it, and it is amazing. It's honestly the best GT4 car in my opinion. It sounds, whew, sounds so good. Got him spinning back there. See, I was thinking about an overtake right there. Didn't quite do it. Wasn't there. Sorry for the lag. I'm not sure why it's doing that. I know Trading Paints has been acting up recently. So that's lap one. We did it. We made it through a lap. And I knew I had pace to keep with these guys. I didn't know I had the pace to actually do what I did in the end, which I'm not going to spoil quite yet. But it was also them just honestly picking them out. That's really what it was a matter of, was just picking out the weak, you know? And then we had the leader spin. So that was number one to go. Pulling me up into sixth. Then we're going to go for the overtake on this Porsche right here, the guy that I started on the front row with. I think in road racing it's just very a matter of you need to be able to hold your own and stay consistent. I found that I have an issue with, like, I'll lose pace throughout a race. So if I can tell myself, you know, hey, keep your pace up, don't let it fall off, you can stay up in the front, no issue, you know? And iRacing is really good about setting up who you race with, I should say, with their splits and stuff like that. You will race with people that you are on par to race with. Then as you can see, keep an eye on that Aston and that McLaren right there. They have a nice little battle. That McLaren was, I'll be honest, driving dirty the whole day. I'm not sure if we'll get the view. I think he just gave him a little punt. So I knew to stay careful of him because he was racing like a fool. Oh, did I mention we're up into P3 now? Oh, yeah, that's right. They tapped right there, and that's when he gets angry. Let me switch up the. And we'll give a shout out to the setup that I was using. I'm using the VRS setup for this week. I love the VRS setup for road. Like honestly, they work real good. That was, I think, the only incident I had this race was that right there. Let me tell you, I did recover from that though. I did not let that get the best of me. And that's another thing. Like if you go off track, you spin out, don't quit. Finish it. You got damage on your car. Repair that damage and finish the race. Last night, talking in the Discord to Gavin and Jeremy and all them. And I've just been getting really defeated recently. I haven't been doing good in ovals. I haven't. It's been really hard. I don't know why, but it's been really hard for me recently. And I was getting a little defeated, and they're just like, don't worry about where you finish. Just good results will come. Drive safe. And it's like, I know that, but I guess I need to put it more into practice. So we were closing the gap on that BMW. Slowly but surely closing that gap. Let's change up the camera angle one more time. I don't have any of my camera stuff hotkeyed, so whatever. Two got a little loose now. Let's turn there. It's very. It's what's fun about Sebring. It's a very dynamic racetrack, especially this section right here on the concrete. It's very bumpy. The car likes to do funky things, so you really gotta be careful with how you drive it. And if there's a little less talking, I do apologize. I'm reflecting on this race as we go. I believe that's where poor Aston got spun. I think I heard it. Oh, not quite yet. Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, he's flashing him. He's like, "Ah, I hate you." They were going at each other in voice chat. It was funny. And then that McLaren will get some karma coming to him. He did it to himself too. That was a Brown moment right there. Not gonna lie. Said that to my fiance. I'm like, that was a Brown moment. Might have to make a compilation, all the Brown moments. Let's do cockpit view. Yep. All right, that's where the McLaren spun the Aston. I knew it was at some point. As you can see, I was still working really hard to close the gap on that BMW. Even going for some passes, or at least thinking about it. Straight got him. Just had a better run out of the corner than him. Now it's time to focus on that McLaren. I used to have a really bad habit of worrying about the people behind me, and it's like, worry less about them and worry more about what's going on in front of you. I'd be checking my mirror every 30 seconds. I mean, it's good to check your mirror, don't get me wrong, but, you know, there becomes a point where you're focusing less on the actual racing than you're doing, then you're focusing more on the driver behind you, and you're just going to inevitably slow down. This was our first set of lap traffic. I think we only had a few lapped cars to deal with. This was the worst part because they're gonna slow you down, no doubt in that. The Porsches just didn't seem competitive at this track. I wonder if they changed the VOP on them. I'd have to look into that. Crazy because those cars were like the best. I do want to thank you guys for the support. It's only been like a week in the making and the channel is already starting to grow, so I love it. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Couldn't be more grateful. Change the angle. I like a TV1. The acid just sounds so good. It's the most V80 sounding car of them all. I don't know if the BMW is a V6 or like a flat plane V8. I think it's V6. The McLaren, I think, is a flat plane V8. Seemed like when the Aston came out, a lot of people slept on it. I think this car is going to be a force to reckon with here soon. You know, we're repping the Aston Martin F1 team paint job. Unfortunately, Seb, my boy, he got COVID, so he won't be racing this weekend, but the Hulk's filling in for him, Nico Hulkenberg, so that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Oh, F1 Fantasy. I keep forgetting. I talk about it. I'll put a link to that down below. Remember, first race is this Sunday. Yeah, I don't know how much more information I have on that, but I'll grab a link for that. Try not to forget this time. So I think it was about this point I was like, I don't got this. He's too far ahead of me. I'm gonna have to settle for second. And that was the mindset that I had during this race, I'm gonna be honest. But I didn't have to settle for second, and you'll see why soon. Where are we? Lap 10. Okay. I didn't realize we were this close to the end. See how much the car moves around right there. At this point we had, I think, almost a 3-second gap on the car behind me, but the gap up front was the same. I wasn't making any progression. Yeah, let's keep an eye on him, because he about to mess this up. I forget if it's this lap or not. Oops, sorry. We actually are going to keep an eye on him, because nothing interesting is going to happen to me here. That McLaren is somehow still working? Now at this point I do have lap traffic to deal with, and I thought maybe I could get a tow. I had a Porsche, that Porsche that's behind me, I had him. I was hoping I could maybe get a tow from him, but missed that. Tried to catch that blue McLaren, couldn't. But the racing gods rained down and said, you know what? Here's for your bad luck. Here it is. He slapped around into the barriers. And then run it back real quick. All I had to do was come around. He tried to get back out in time. He didn't. And bam, there it was. P1, the glorified position number 1. He was mad. He was real mad. And where are we at? Lap 12, yeah. So there's 14 laps this race. I had to keep it together for only 2 more laps. And that's when my anxiety was like, "Oh, let me F with you now." And that Porsche was a lapped car. This race was a lot of fun. I think I am going to run the pilot challenge this year. Or not this year, but this season. I'm going to commit to that fully and run that for 8 weeks at least. Try to get my participation for it. Then there's the white flag. That blue Aston behind me is P2. He closed the gap up real good, and I was worried about him. I really botched that turn. Let those little things like that lap car distract me, you know? Onto the back straight for the final time today. We have one more collected turns. Cross the line, and that win will be ours. And this is the first time I've won a race in, golly, 2 months maybe? A month? Yeah, 2 months. So it feels good to be back on the podium. In that top spot especially. Had to bring it down by the pit wall. Real awesome race. Just like that. Grid 4, P1. Gotta love it, right, guys? Well, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.